Are we live? Can people hear me? I hope so, because I don't have a microphone. So if you can't hear me, we are sunk. Let's see if I can shuffle this back a bit. Watch out, bunny. Watch out, bunny. Get out the way, bunny. Oh, I know. Well, I told you to get out the way. Hello. Hello. Can anyone hear me? Can people chuck in the chat if they can hear me? Tab. Excellent. Faye can hear me. Hi, Faye. Who have we got? Do I get to find out who is on? This is my first time going live. How is everyone doing? I believe that's my partner listening in the other room. Andy, do you have me on in the other room? That's the weirdest echo of myself. Oh, I don't like that. That's not comfortable.
Sorry, I can hear you.
Yes, Andy's watching in the other room for me.
I'm not. I stopped you.
Thank you, because that's really weird. So basically, this is my first time going live on this channel. We're just going to kind of hang out. I've got a book to sit and read. People are welcome to sit and read with me. If you have anything you want to chat about in the chat, you can ask me questions if you want, or we can just sit and chill. It's all very nice and relaxed. If anybody wants to see my house rabbit, just chuck something in the chat and I'll onto camera with treats, and that'll be fun. The book I intend to be reading is this one here. This is Juggling from Antiquity to the Middle Ages by Tom Wall, who is a really, really cool... Oh, hey, Library of Alexandria. It's a really cool micro-history. Tom Wall is a really impressive juggler. He's what's called a gentleman juggler, which is like using lots of household props for juggling rather than juggling balls. And there's lots of kind of object manipulation stuff. He's really exciting and really cool. I've been to a few of his talks at juggling conventions, and this is his book. So this is what I'm going to be reading. If you've got a book with you, chuck it in the chat. Let me know what you're reading. My rabbit's decided to throw around an empty egg box. You having fun? What? I've moved the table in the living room, and therefore she has to like throw a hissy fit. It's very exciting. Yes, you do that. Excellent. Faye would like to see the rabbit. Okay, Toaster. Her name is Toaster, by the way. Don't run into the other room. Oh. But I will get her and I will bring her back. Give me 1 second. Toaster! Hey! Come on. You get me? Come on then. Right, if we tilt you down. Hello. Would you like a treat? We say hi. We say hi. Wait, this way. Yeah, this way. Not the tin. We say hello to lovely people. This is Toaster. Hey. Yeah, I know I've got treats for you, haven't I? She hangs out in our living room. Be polite. Be polite. Wait for the treat. Don't take from the tin. She has no manners whatsoever. Do you? Yes, you are a cutie, aren't you? Are you going to sit with me whilst I read? Sometimes she will sit with me on the... Hi, Belle. And Carly, actually. Hello. There you go. Right, no more. I'm sure we're going to get you up here for more things a bit later, hey? I know, it's empty. I've given you all the treats. Hey? Yes? Carly says more treats for you. Hey, should we give you more treats a bit later? Are you going to jump down? Please don't eat my mouse. She really likes cables, so we call them in my house spicy hay. And I don't actually have my laptop plugged in, so it might just die. And if it does, it's because I can't plug it in, because she will eat the cable completely. So that's you, so you're not looking at my lap anymore. She's jumped down. She's not going to hang out the whole day. Right, should we do a bit of reading? Is people up for a bit of chill reading? Is everybody down for that? A little bit of a hangout reading session. I might put on some very gentle lo-fi music in the background. And yeah, yeah, let's sit and chill and read. If you're reading something exciting, let me know in the chat, and we'll hang out. This is nice. Hi, Amy, and bye, Amy. Lovely to see you pop in the chat. You're reading some really good stuff, actually. Some very cool books in there. I really want to read Don't Touch My Hair. It looks amazing. And that History of the New World and Cocktails I've added to my TBR as well. That looks excellent. Oh, hey, Ghost Reader. Yeah, Justin. Justin, you just missed my rabbit. She was on camera for a bit. I'll get her back a bit later if you want, Justin, or I'll just send you a video at some point. Yeah, thank you anybody popping on where the time zone is like really weird. It's been interesting trying to find good time zones for like reading sprints and things like that. And Justin, I'm sorry I didn't pop on to your one yesterday, but it was like 1 a.m. in UK time, and that is very, very late for me. So I was unable to make it to that one. Everyone's reading some very cool stuff. What's everyone's favourite book of the readathon been so far? I've really enjoyed Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Absolutely excellent historical fiction set in Mexico in the 1920s that has lots of all sorts of really cool like folklore built into it. That was excellent. Ah, you're in Norway. Cool. Yeah, it's not too bad. Time zone wise. Well, that's okay. Yeah, that Lakota America looks really cool, Justin. I saw that on your Instagram. That looks really interesting, which is good. Oh, cool. Is that a history of Pride itself? Because that would be really interesting. That's one that I've seen kind of mentioned in lots of different other general history books I've been kind of reading recently. So that would be really interesting to check out. My TBRs can't handle hosting any more readathons. I find out about too many cool books from everybody's TBRs, and it's deeply problematic for my bookshelf and my bank balance equal measure. So I'm deeply unimpressed with anybody telling me more exciting books. I can't handle it. Sea People's great. Great book. Cracking book. Probably one of my favourite of the year, to be honest. I was gutted when it got knocked out of the BookTube prize. This is cool. Oh! Wow. I vaguely have heard of the movie. I will have to check that out. I feel like I should know more about the miners' strike, but my kind of general history of the UK is awful. This book I'm reading at the moment is very strange. It's from a like super indie press, which is really cool because obviously like it's about the history of juggling, so it's very, very niche. So you're not really going to get a full book about that. But because of that, its formatting is frankly awful. And I think it's going to make it really hard to read. Like it's got loads of footnotes that you can't tell on my camera, but the footnotes are big and they keep drifting over from page to page, and it's making it really hard to like see anything. And there's loads of pictures, but they're kind of, do you see how like the text is super weird in this bit? And it's just kind of making it unnecessarily difficult to kind of pass out the information. Maybe I've just spoiled from nice like standard print books, but this one's not ideal. I'm just going to skip the footnotes. If it was that interesting, it'd be in the main body of the text. That's always my theory with footnotes. So I quite often will Google if I am reading anything art history based, because I find that it's really helpful to actually be able to like look up what pictures they're talking about or like what artwork. So there are quite a few where I will do that, and some books on paleontology I will look up what dinosaur species they're talking about, because quite often the paleo art is helpful to kind of orientate it. Especially if it's one that I've seen mentioned in a documentary but not seen written down, and haven't made the connection between the written down version of the name and the said out loud version of the name. So I find that quite helpful. Other than that, I try to avoid Googling too much, because I can end up falling just down a rabbit hole of Googling, and then I'm not actually reading anymore, I'm just Googling things. Also, I quite often lock my phone when I'm reading. I use the Forest app that quite a lot of people use to stop me from just like mindlessly scrolling. So if that's on, then I can't Google anything, because I've purposely locked my phone to stop me from being able to do that. So that's how I tend to approach things with Googling. But good question. That's interesting. What about other people? Does anybody else use Google when they're reading? Let us know in the chat. I like the rule of three. I should really do that with words I don't know how to pronounce. There's so many words that I'm sure my brain, I just can't actually say out loud. My brain just kind of makes a weird white noise sound when it comes to that, but I'm like, yeah, that counts. Oh, switching off Wi-Fi is a good shout as well. Yeah, that's a cool way of doing it. I quite often use Spotify for like background music though. Although I could just download the songs, actually, come to think of it. So that's quite a nice way of doing it, to be honest. She refers to them without naming them. That's not fair. You can't do that to a reader. That's such hard work. That makes sense. We were talking about Ali Smith the other day, me and Carly. It sounds like very intense reading that you really have to focus for, which is sometimes what you want from a book, but other times you just want to check out and be like, no, make it easy for me. How's everyone's reading going so far? Has anyone got any fun, interesting history facts that they've kind of picked up along the way? I've been learning about the origins of juggling, which is very difficult to tell because the term jongleur was often used just to describe an entertainer, regardless of whether they were actually juggling or not. And then it became something that later on has now been applied specifically to the form of throwing and catching balls. And so it can be quite difficult from a historical perspective to narrow down actual instances of juggling as an art form compared to just entertainment in general. But there's one very famous, if I show you, this is a relief that is in ancient Egypt, and it is the earliest example of juggling that we have historically. But what's interesting is this particular illustration that's very famous of it, there's actually an extra juggler. This woman over here, just on the, I guess that's the one furthest to the end of the page. She's not actually in the original. You probably can't see very easily from that. Let me see if I can find a better photo. She's actually riding on somebody's back, and it's one that has been misprinted years and years and years ago when it was first kind of shown, and since then has become like the common usage. And I know like jugglers who have had the relief of the four women tattooed on their backs, and like it's one that you see on t-shirts at juggling conventions, and it's completely historically inaccurate. There was never the fourth person. So it's kind of one of these the mistake is now more famous than the truth kind of elements in history. So that's the earliest example of juggling that we have in the sense of throwing and catching multiple balls. So there's a fun fact for all of you that nobody actually asked me for. Has anybody else got some fun facts? Oh, the chat's going off. I love this. Yes, the Romanovs were cray. I'm with you there, Katie. I am also reading the Romanovs. So many Ivans and Peters in that family. Yeah. The parachute existed in Dickens' time. That is wicked. Was it effective? And rum used to be called Kill Devil. Have you found out why the name changed yet? Or where the name change came from, or why indeed it was called Kill Devil? That's very cool. I like that. It's another fun fact on the term of names. Apparently, the Spanish and Portuguese term for a juggler is a malabarista. I'm sure my accent there was awful, but that actually stems from the Indian region of Malabar, which was historically very famous for its jugglers. So where if you were skilled with throwing and juggling things, it was that you were said to come from the Malabar region. And so they were called the Jugos Malabares, and then that's become Malabarista, and the term juggle, anything kind of root of that word, has been completely dropped from Spanish and Portuguese, apparently, according to the book. Apparently balloonists used to be parachutes. That's cool. That makes sense, actually. I like this. I like random facts from history. They're fun. It's my favourite part of reading history books, is having weird stuff that you can tell people at dinner parties and then not get yourself invited back because nobody else cares. But you care, and that's okay. Andy's pottering around the house. I've banished him from the living room, and I feel slightly bad. So we won't stay very late, guys. Oh, that's cool. That's quite a common motif that appears in like ancient civilizations as well, the concept of like a cyclical understanding of time and the way that language is used to describe time. That pops up in some other places. That's wicked though. I like that Belle's doing a really intelligent thing with a PhD research on temporality. That sounds so fancy. I love it. Hello, are you coming to say hi again? Toast is hopping around very excited. What are you doing? Here you go. Here you go. She'd put one of her toys in the way of her water bottle and couldn't work out how to solve the problem, so I fixed it for her. She's not the brightest bunny in the world, we'll give her that. That's cool. I love like linguistic trails of like how we can track back the origins of words. That's something that was mentioned in Sea People quite a lot, the ability to track the transfer. When you say you're drunk because you've been to Barbados, that's wicked. I need to start using that. But yeah, the way that we can track the progress of people across the various Polynesian islands by the different, like the way that the words track through and the way that you can trace the roots back is a really cool section of Sea People. I'd love to read more about sort of that study of like anthropology through linguistics, which is excellent. Also, that Been to Barbados reminds me of a sketch from Michael McIntyre from a very long time ago that is basically that posh English people can use any word whatsoever and make it sound like they've been drunk. It's just like, I was absolutely trolleyed last night, completely gazeboed, entirely wheelbarrowed, and it's an excellent way. It's a good feature of our language. My sister studied linguistics at university, actually. She's about to do a master's in linguistics and philosophy of language. So she would love all this stuff that we're chatting about right now. You coming up again? Oi. Come on. Come on. Here you go. Come say hi. Those are my boobs. You can do a whole degree in being a librarian. That's wicked. I very nearly studied to be an archivist. I was very interested in that for a period of time. Never quite happened though, did it? No. We became a circus freak instead. Do you want some more? Those are my boobs you were climbing on, and that is very wisdom. She was scrabbling around at the bottom of the table, so I thought I'd bring her up again and say hi. Not the tin. Come back here. What are you doing? Come around. Come around. Oh, big tool. Big tool, aren't you? Right? Yeah. I don't have anything left. I know. I know. Hello. Oh, thank you. I have a matching mask for it, actually, for this dress. We like big, bold prints. You want to sit and read with me? Hey? I'm going to hang out. Tilt a little bit so we can see you still. Here you go. No. We're done with treats now. You've had plenty. You want to read? No? Okay. Here you go. You're looking at the computer. There you go. Want to see it? Not my mouse. Yes, it is a dress. I almost never wear anything other than dresses. I'm not very good at skirts and trousers. Everything is a dress, which you never get to see in any of my videos because the videos are always like from here up. Yes, I'm always wearing a dress. Hello. We're done with treats now. You're going to get fat otherwise. Vets will tell us off. She's gone now. Right, I say we hang out for another 5 minutes or so, and then I'll probably call it a night, guys, because it's getting a bit late, and I feel bad for chasing Andy out of the living room. But this has been really nice. This has been fun. I like this. We were thinking about maybe next year doing a group book for the history challenge, but we couldn't really pick this year on the group book. But if that is something people would be interested in, and then a subsequent live streaming show connected to said group book, then do let us know collectively, all of the hosts, and that's something that we could maybe look into for a future edition of the readathon, which would be good fun. We are also just kind of slightly assuming that the readathon will probably continue next year, unless anybody's life gets hectic enough that they need to kind of drop out for whatever reason, which is completely fine. Obviously, it's, as 2020 has proven, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen in the future, so that's not a problem. Yeah, we tried like putting in the like host's favorite book as a prompt was kind of a way of addressing the difficulty of picking a group book because of the kind of the variety of history out there and people's different like interests and things like that. Yeah, another one would be good. But we might maybe have like, I guess we could get people to vote on a group book, and that's always an option. Or go for like maybe 2 different ones, and then the host kind of split off with what they're going to read or something. Just some way of kind of covering more bases, and try to avoid any new releases. I do find it quite frustrating when readathons go for big new release books that are only out in hardback, or in some cases not even out in the country that you're in, and that can be quite frustrating as somebody trying to take part. So I think we try and go for something backlist, a bit easier to get a hold of. Something like that would be good. But it's one to consider, like, definitely. Which would be interesting. But yeah, that was partially the logic behind having host's favourite book as one of the prompts, was to give a way for people to kind of connect slightly more with what we're doing, which was cool. Oh, the downside to having a house rabbit is there's just fluff everywhere. Ugh, I swear the bulk of my editing is just cutting out me like nearly sneezing. Yeah, one that focused on a lot of different topics would be really cool for definite, or like a real like general world history one maybe, or maybe something along the lines of like a documentary instead, so it's less pressure on people. I don't know, there's like a lot of different options with history, which is really nice. I had the same thing with Springathon. Natalie from Curious Reader and I hosted that one, and we had a chat about should we do a group book, and we couldn't even really pick a book between the 2 of us that we wanted. So it just became easier to not worry about that, basically. Yes, cats get hair everywhere as well. If we're not on top of the hoovering, her fur gathers, and it looks like we've got like a smoke machine going very gently in the background of the house. It just kind of covers all the corners of the living room. It's excellent. I keep getting it in my masks as well, and then I've like got a really horrible itchy nose, and people look at you really judgmentally if you're like trying to scratch your nose through your mask. Don't touch your face. No one's allowed to touch their face anymore. It's the lesson of 2020. Oh, this is killing my battery on my laptop as well. Ooh, gonna have to go soon. Okay, I'm gonna call it a night in a second. So does anybody have anything else that they'd like to say in the chat before I say goodbye? Has everybody had a good reading? How many pages did you get done? I have managed to read 60 pages, which sounds far more impressive than it actually is, because huge sections of them are taken up with very cool photos. Look at that. Look at that kid. What is that kid doing? Whatever it is, it's very impressive and very difficult to do, I'm sure. But it does make it a lot easier to rack up the pages, especially when huge swathes of them are given over to footnotes. Look, that is all footnote. What is that? I'm going to read nothing. Yeah, it's been nice chilling. Okay, some people got some reading done. This is good. We should do something like this again. This is very nice. This is excellent. Pages today specifically, rather than the whole readathon. I have managed to read more than 60 pages out of the whole readathon. I'm not too sure what my readathon count is. Yeah, it's been nice. 3 pages, excellent. So technically I did the best, but my book is really easy because it's all just pictures. Very niche, very cool though. If anybody has any vague interest in circus, please do check out Tom Wall. He's not just got books, he's got a lot of resources online. He has a very cool website that goes into lots of stuff about juggling and the history of juggling, and some very, very specific his people from history who have been very influential in the circus arts. So I know it's a crazy niche topic, but if anybody else does find that interesting, THOM Wall is the guy to check out. He's very cool. Right. That's fair enough. I did quite well today. I had an audiobook on and I was doing a lot of driving today, so I did quite well for today. Right, I'm going to go. It's been lovely hanging out with everybody. This has been very good fun. Good luck with the last 2 days of the readathon. There might be a few more reading sprints over on Twitter. Hopefully tomorrow evening I might try and do a few. I've got a couple of books I want to try and get finished for the readathon. But yeah, this has been really nice and really chill. So I'm going to say goodbye to everyone and I will chat to you soon. Okay, how do we end this? Watch me fail at technology. There we go. There's the end stream button. Right. Bye.